Hey, I'm James Roy, and this is my lovely wife, Courtney, and it's Report Card Week, but it's also The Noise Date Night Edition, a podcast where we review our weekly date night movie selections.
Mm-hmm.
And as you may have guessed, Red Notice is not Belfast, but the movie we were reviewing this week is a Netflix movie because getting to the theater this week was not in the plans. Turns out that report cards require a lot. So if you know a teacher, give them a hug.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know a teacher, my teacher wife's Venmo is Courtney Dan Flo. And if you would like to monetarily show your appreciation, no, I'm just kidding. That really is her Venmo though. So like, if you wanted to, you could, but like, no, I mean,
like $1 to go towards my coffee fund would just be nice, but
it's a rough week.
It's cool.
But
averaging 3 cups a day, you know.
Speaking of rough weeks, this weekend we had a lot going on to pile on top of Report Card Week.
Yeah.
So on top of Report Card season, we had a women's conference for our church, and family photos. So those were two very
eventful
events.
Mm.
And so let's talk about the women's conference.
Yeah, let's talk about the women's
So
conference.
everything that happened this weekend was my first time partaking
in the Flores family.
The Flores family stuff.
Hooplas.
It's some of my last firsts as the newest son-in-law. And so
the last son-in-law.
The last son-in-law. It's kind of like the last duel, but there's no dueling and it's just marriage.
And no one's like saving someone from death.
But yeah, so the women's conference was it was a lot. But I felt like it was a fun time. I mean, it's good to see everyone together, just hanging out, getting into the word and stuff. So that was good. Family photos, I enjoyed that because not only did I get to hang out with my nieces and nephews, but I also got to hang out with my brothers and sisters and my mother and father-in-laws. And so that's always a good time. I mean, I found it enjoyable hanging out.
It's never not eventful, you know.
Well, no, and Sam is also a pro, and Sam's the photographer this year.
He's known us for so long that like we could do anything, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's just them, the Flores family."
No, so he's like asking us to do stuff. He's like, "We're gonna put on music and dance," and I was like, "How high?" I mean, dance, yeah. You say jump, I say how high.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We're not giving away any deets about it. We did do like a sneak peek on my Insta story. So if you do follow me at Courtney Dan Ram, then you kind of could see somewhat of the colors.
And why wouldn't you want to see it? Because like, you know, I see a lot of parallels. The Floreses, Kardashians, might as well be reality
TV. Okay. I'm like kind of trolling that I post these things, but yeah, sure. If you think we're in that caliber and you want to, just know what we're doing over here in good old California.
Yeah, but let's get into our review of Red Notice. So Red Notice is a movie that features Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
And it's directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber. It was released on November 5th. And it's a Netflix movie, so in terms of money, it was a $200 million budget, and its equivalent box office is between $1.25 and $1.5 million, which is estimated. So, not amazing, and a lot of these numbers are a lot lower than we're used to seeing. But I mean, I thought overall it was a pretty good movie for what it is, which is a Netflix movie. I mean, there's been some really great Netflix movies. Is this one of them? No, but it was a good Netflix movie.
Mm-hmm. What was a great Netflix movie you watched?
What was a great Netflix movie?
Just curious. I like a lot of the Netflix like miniseries.
I was gonna say the shows are really good,
and
but
the
movies can be hit or miss.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I feel I guess what I was thinking about all the shows when I said
I guess
that.
Bird Box was a huge one.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one?
No, Bird Box was good. Sandra Bullock did really well in that movie.
So that was like a Netflix only.
That was Netflix original? Okay, yeah. So like this isn't on the same level.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch Bird Box, but like I just remember all the memes when that came out.
No, Bird Box was really good. This was not as good. But I mean, I feel like it was worth watching. I mean, I would say I don't know, if you're looking on Netflix for a movie to watch, I'd give it a shot. I haven't watched Tiger King 2 yet, but I could be willing to guess that Tiger King 2 is probably better than this movie, just based off how Tiger King 1 was.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it too. There's also Made that I want to see.
I've seen the preview for that one. It looks like it could be
like pretty good. But I'm still finishing Stranger Things season 3 before season 4 comes out. Whoops.
No, yeah, she's running through that, but I'm already ready for season 4, and it looks like the preview's good. Looks like it's gonna be good.
Like,
Mike.
Okay.
Well, so right now we'll issue the spoiler alert. So, if you haven't gone on Netflix and watched this movie yet,
or if you just want to know what we think to see if you might be interested in watching it,
then just know that from here on out, spoilers will be happening.
Yes.
This plot will be explained in quick yet thorough detail. So let's get into it. I will be explaining the plot this week.
Are you going to do it in less than 2 minutes?
I will. I'm going to knock it out pretty quick. This one doesn't really take a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
So we start out with a quick backstory where they explain the main artifact that's at stake here, because this is a movie about thieves. And the main artifact at stake is these 3 eggs from Cleopatra.
Mm-hmm.
They were given to her by her lover. And they eventually all got separated, and everyone's been on a quest to get them. And recently an ultimatum's been put out. This really rich guy has put out that if someone can bring him all 3 of them, he'll give them $300 million. And that's because his daughter, Cleopatra, has a birthday coming up, and they need to get them to him before her birthday. So enter modern day The Rock hanging out with this Interpol agent, and is like, yo, I'm with the FBI. I'm hot on the trail of the best art thief in the world, and I know that he's gonna strike today in Italy. And so they're like running through. They go to the first egg is in Italy. The museum people are like, there's no way. And then suddenly The Rock pours Coke on the egg, and it's not real. So the guy's already come through and taken it, but he's still in the room. We get a little chase scene between The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. And the egg gets stolen. Well, flashback, Ryan Reynolds is at his hideaway with the egg, and The Rock rolls up, and he's like, what? How did you get here? And it's like, surprise, it's me. But not only is it me, it's also Interpol. Everyone's there. Ryan Reynolds is arrested. While the egg is being transported, the Interpol agent said she got this hit that The Rock is not like a real FBI person, so she suspects that he's in on it. So then he gets arrested. So now Ryan Reynolds and The Rock are arrested and sent to Russia. There's a brief bonding time period where things happen. And to this point, personally, I feel like Ryan Reynolds has played a little bit too heavily into his normal character. Like, imagine Deadpool, but like more. He's like, every reply he has to anything is a sarcastic retort, and at some point it's like, dude, you're just being annoying now. I didn't think I could be annoyed by Ryan Reynolds as an actor, but like his character annoyed me a lot, and this was the point at which I realized it. So they break out of prison, and they kind of have their tense, like, you know, their trust is so on thin ice because one of them's a detective and needs him in order to get to whatever. And so they have that moment where it's like, I thought you were going to leave me behind. I don't know if I can trust you, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they decide they're going to team up and go get the other egg. So they get hot on the trail of this other egg. it's owned by this like this arms dealer, and so they go to try and get it. They come up with this elaborate plan, but what's her face? So this is kind of where we meet. No, so in the prison scene is the first time we really meet the Bishop, which is played by Gal Gadot. So to this point, Ryan Reynolds' character has been on a quest to be the greatest art thief, but that title belongs to the Bishop, who is Gal Gadot. And so they run into her at the party. Their plan carries on pretty nicely. They get into the room, but Gal Gadot's already in, and that's because she was already on the same side, worked out a deal with the arms dealer to get in there. So they imprison. I don't know what the right term is for it. They capture The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. There's a torture scene, and then it's revealed that the Bishop is not only 6 steps ahead of them, she's also 6 steps ahead of the arms dealer and poisons him, and then goes away with the second egg. So now she's got 2 of them. Mm-hmm. There's a brief escape scene from there for The Rock and Ryan Reynolds involving a matador type thing where they're running away. They're in Spain. They come up and it's like, oh, we'll be in the crowd and we'll just slip out. But it turns out they're in the ring with the bull. Mm-hmm. And during the torture scene, it's revealed that Ryan Reynolds' character is the one who knows where the third egg is. The third egg is the point of contention because since like the 1930s, no one's known where it is. And so he told Gal Gadot in the interrogation scene that it was in Egypt, but he lied. And it was in Argentina. We get this backstory where Ryan Reynolds talks about his dad being one of the people that's obsessed with researching into this Nazi art director person who was like in charge of the antiquities and the arts for Hitler. Who suddenly packed up a bunch of stuff and left and went to Argentina, set up a bunker, and he believes that that's where the third egg is. So him and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, there's not like a journey scene or anything like that. They just kind of go down to Argentina and suddenly they're there. They have a little like, oh, you really thought it was here? I just can't believe, or whatever. And one of them taps on the ground and it's made of metal, and wouldn't you know it, 1.5 inches below the top of the soil is metal, which Courtney was quick to point out didn't make any sense, and I tried to make sense of it.
I thought maybe because it's a low budget film, but they spent kind of a lot of money.
Yeah, they did. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but
they're like, we're at the end. Let's just wrap it up.
They drop down into this Nazi cavern, and wouldn't you know it, they explore for a little bit. They find the egg. And I know you know what happened next, and you don't even have, even if you haven't seen the movie, you probably could guess that, wow, Gal Gadot is there. And wouldn't you know it, Interpol is hot on the trail right behind her.
What do you know? What a coincidence.
And so Ryan Reynolds had been going on about how he could flip this like 1937 Mercedes for like $25 million that was in the place. And so they crank start it and get it going to escape and shoot their way out, the 3 of them. That temporary bond that you form with someone you're not quite fond of when you need
have a common goal,
make it out alive.
Yeah.
So they make their way out. They drive eventually off of a waterfall and into the water. Ryan Reynolds makes it out of the water first with the egg, and he's about to run off with it. He's like, "Wait, where's The Rock?" And he like. It's like, I guess he'll be okay, and goes to run, and then he's like, I can't do that. He has that moment of clarity where he's like, well, I'll just go in there and try and save my friend, and he puts the egg down and runs into the water to try and get after The Rock, and The Rock is on land, and he goes, wow, you really chose me over the egg, and he's like, no, I didn't, no. And then this is where the plot twist happens, and this, I think Courtney had a better grip on what was going to happen than I did, because I was totally blindsided. I just legitimately, maybe I was just too tired, but I
just believe the best in everybody, babe.
I didn't have
being honest always.
I did not have a solid guess as to like what was going to happen.
I also just took media criticism and had to literally watch films all the time.
But The Rock turns to Gal Gadot and just gives her lays it on right there. It's like, wow.
I think your exact emotions were like,
I was like,
whoa, did not see that coming. And I was like, he goes, wait. Well, I thought she was going to kiss Ryan Reynolds. But yeah, I knew she was going to kiss one of them.
You're working with the bishop? And it's like,
we're the bishop.
With the bishop. We are the bishop. You know, every game of chess has 2 bishops. I'm just like, wow.
Are we going to this? Are we referencing Queen's Gambit or?
That's what we're doing. Okay. And so they make off with the egg, tie up Ryan Reynolds. He gets caught by Interpol. And then the rest of the movie plays out kind of like a payback thing. They kind of set up a sequel. So Ryan Reynolds meets them on their boat. Or actually, no, I'll say this first. So they showed the scene at the birthday party with the eggs being revealed. And Ed Sheeran is the performing artist for the birthday party, because when you have that kind of money, you can pay for Ed Sheeran to perform for that group. Suddenly, Interpol busts in. We get a shot of the bishops up in the rafters watching it happen, and it turns out they gave them the eggs, got the money, and then turned them into Interpol for possession of illegal possession of artifacts, or like
probably like stolen art.
And so they get away with their $300 million in a Cayman bank account or whatever. They're hanging out on their boat, and then Ryan Reynolds shows up, and he goes, "Hey, by the way, I told Interpol about what you guys did, and it turns out your bank account is not as hard to find as you thought it was. So I gave Interpol all the passcodes, and they've disabled your funds, so you don't have any money anymore." And they look, bank account 0 balance, and he goes, "But hey guys, I got really close to y'all, and I actually have a score that I need your help with, and it's actually a 3-person mission, so maybe we could work together and make it happen." And The Rock is like, "No." And then Ryan Reynolds is about to leave, and Gal Gadot is like, "Well, actually, we do need another score. Interpol's on us. We should probably help." And so they all agree to do this mission. Interpol rolls up to an abandoned boat, and the crew is at it, getting ready to start the heist, and the movie goes to its end. And so, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the whole plot. I felt like the acting was good. Once again, my biggest issue, which is surprising because those 3 actors were the ones that I was like, yeah, they'll all be really good. And I feel like Gal Gadot didn't really have a lot to go on, so she did good with what she had. The Rock is The Rock. I mean, his role was always going to be the same. There wasn't much he was going to change up. He knows how to stay in his lane, so I wasn't surprised. I wasn't impressed. I was just like, yep, that's The Rock. He's in a movie. Just like when he showed up on that one song that came out by Tech9 recently, that's been big on TikTok, and it's like, wow, The Rock raps now, and I'm like, yep, that's The Rock. He's doing that.
Yeah, babe.
But Ryan Reynolds just really, especially after coming out with Free Guy, which was like, I think one of his like defining performances, I feel like this movie was a step backwards for him. What did you think, babe?
Yeah, I think that the movie's like good enough to watch, but yeah, I think that he just kind of overdid it with the sarcasm and kind of was just like, hey, I got asked to be in a Netflix movie and I'm going to act like I'm in a Netflix movie. Like he was almost like trolling it in a way. Almost. But he was like so like
when I tell you
enthusiastic about it.
When I tell you that everything he said was a sarcastic response, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, his whole entire role was played in a sarcastic tone.
It was like, I don't know. The closest comparison I have is like Deadpool. But it was very Ryan Reynolds-esque. It was just
like maybe it was during COVID and they weren't allowed to go anywhere and they just like randomly got some like travel clearance and were like, filming anywhere? Yes. Sign me up. Or like he was scared that
he got
COVID
paid.
was going to shut things down completely, and so he signed up and as a last like effort to like, I don't know, like save money. That's what it felt like.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Now, what about from like a more analytical perspective, like cinematography kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty standard. I thought it was good. I think the music could be a little bit cheesy at times. I felt like the pace can be a little bit awkward, so that kind of just plays more into editing and then overall. vibe of the movie. But I mean, all in all, like, cinematography wise, it was fine. It was good. It's pretty straightforward, classic spy, action type movie style. So.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get into our scoring. And so, I went into this honestly. So our most recent review before this was Eternals. I put that at a 4.5, and it was troublesome. We might have to change the scale because this 1 to 7 thing puts a lot of movies close together that should probably have a little more separation. But in my eyes, this movie was probably on par.
Babe, you chose the 1 to 7 scale.
I know I chose it, but I didn't see the pitfalls of it before I did it.
Well, I think because you just did it like on the spot.
Yeah. So.
And now we have to stick with it.
We do.
Because now we're thinking in 7 stars instead of 5.
We are. And so with that in mind, babe, you can go first because I'm a firm believer in ladies first.
Sure. I think you just want to see where I measure up. I would say since we put Eternals at 4.
You put Eternals at 4. I gave it a 4.5.
Oh, yeah. I would say this is around like a 3.5 to 4. And the only reason why I'm putting it that low is because of the cheesiness of the film. But then I like the plot twist. I don't know. I'll give it a 4.
I'm going to have to agree with you on the 4 because I know I have to put it lower than Eternals, but I don't want to put it... I didn't think it was so bad that it deserved to start with a 3.
I think Eternals is a gorgeous looking movie.
No, yeah, exactly.
It is pretty, and those shots are amazing. Didn't like the vibe of it. Didn't like the style of it. Some of my 4th graders watched it, which I was like, wow, highly inappropriate. But they loved it. And so I was like, well, there you go. If a 4th grader likes it, then I'm probably not going to like it. Makes sense.
Well, yeah, I see it.
They also, are excited to watch Clifford. So
Clifford did look like it was going to be a solid movie.
I feel like that's low key going to be better than both of these movies that we're talking about currently. Yeah, I'll give it a 4.
All right.
The redeeming quality, I think Gal Gadot actually did pretty good.
You think what?
I think Gal Gadot actually did pretty good.
No, Gal Gadot was the redeeming part.
And
like I said,
it's like, and also maybe Ryan Reynolds was just trolling The Rock because The Rock does like all these cheesy movies. Like he just does. Like he's in the Fast franchise. He did like that Tooth Fairy movie one time. He's just done he's known to be a cheeseball, and so I feel like maybe Ryan and him. I don't know. Is The Rock like a producer? That seems like more likely. And then Ryan just being like, "Yeah, we're friends. I'll be in your movie."
Well, I feel like so we've seen The Rock and like the personalities like Kevin Hart have like banter off screen that was like very kind-hearted and like but like really I don't know how to put it, the very joking like kind of stuff. And I feel like maybe Ryan Reynolds and The Rock had that and it was leaking over. Kind of like how Ryan Reynolds has with Hugh Jackman, where he's just kind of like.
Yeah, it almost had seemed to like they had spent a lot of time on set, like going over these lines together, probably Zoom calling, and then we're like, remember when we did it and we thought it was funny? Let's do it the same way.
No,
that's what I think. I don't think it's going to be nominated, obviously.
No, I don't think so either. But
just in case you were wondering.
On that note,
I think Belfast, it's probably a contender for an Oscar. Just kidding.
How did the movie rate out on like IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes?
For Red Notice?
Yeah.
Well, it's a Metascore of a 39, which means critics did not like it at all, one bit. They probably thought all the same things I did. Like, why? Why are you doing this? Were you guys just calling each other one day and thought, let's just make this movie? And we're like really funny.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? I think our negative Nancy bit's going to look really good on this one.
Well, actually, the population gave it a 6.4, which is about the same as the Eternals. So people actually like it. But people like feel-good movies. I mean, you kind of go to Netflix for like the feel-good, or you go for like, the Christmas ones, or you go for like the really good miniseries. So people were like, a fun caper film, very enjoyable. So bad and boring, it rates a short. Nothing of notice here. Red Notice review, red alert for the viewers. A waste of talent. Obvious studio forced and gunpoint movie. Seriously, 6.7 for this. More proof that Netflix / Hollywood, the petri dish in which we breed, are idiots. Netflix is dying. Assumes you're a complete imbecile. Bed notice. Probably they meant bad notice.
Maybe it was bed notice. Like, maybe it's time to go to bed instead of watching this movie.
What a cast. Gal Gadot accepted as she is totally overhyped. What an opportunity. What a fail. I think this person just doesn't know how to spell. That's probably true. What a disappointment. I've seen this somewhere before. ... Boring. Not a fan. Same old stuff from Joshua Johnson and Reynolds. Even The Rock couldn't save this one. Has The Rock saved movies in the past?
Never. Never has he ever. The only thing he's saved
Jungle
is
Cruise. I thought
is WWE, maybe.
I did pretty good in Jungle Cruise, but that's probably like
that movie didn't need saving. He just did good in it.
Yeah, he like acted to the caliber of Emily Blunt, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But
the director dozed off while the movie was being shot.
No.
Oh, Lordy.
I guess on that note, we can get into our closing segment. All right, so next week we'll be watching King Richard, a movie about the Williams sisters, and their father, Richard, and growing up and how it was being tennis stars, and being who they were in a sport that's predominantly, at least to that point, had been predominantly white.
Probably male too, I would imagine. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Billie Jean King had gone through at that point.
To be fair, they're like the first females that come to my mind when I think of like the earliest tennis female players that I know of.
I mean,
and then I know like Maria
Sharapova.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, in recent years, we've gotten like Naomi Osaka and Coco Gauff, but outside of that, it's a very. But granted, I couldn't name more than 4 male tennis players either. It's just not a super. Andy Roddick.
Fidel.
Yeah, Federer.
I was like, what is his name?
And what's the Djokovic?
Yeah, that's 3.
And the Spanish guy.
And Stan Smith.
Well, I don't know who that is.
Or maybe he was a basketball player. I thought he was a tennis player.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
He's the one that does the Adidas.
But anyway, the preview looks promising to me. Will Smith's in this one, and that's enough to get me to watch it, honestly. As much as Will Smith has had hit or misses.
Stan Smith is a tennis player. That's what the shoes.
I know Stan Smith is a tennis player.
You just said I didn't know who that was.
But I'm saying I only knew he was a tennis player because you referenced him in this conversation. I wasn't trying to discount that you were naming a tennis player. I just didn't know who he was prior to you saying his name.
Okay.
Report card season.
For you too, babe.
No,
do you want me to give you a grade on your?
Can you give me a grade on what
abilities of being a husband far?
Can you?
We'll do categories such as like home improvements.
Okay, how's that one going so far?
Cleanliness.
Solid B+.
Kitchen skills. And preparations for fatherhood in the form of taking care of Rocky. Are we looking at an ABC scale?
Yeah, we're looking at ABC. Where
an ESU.
Where do I rank at?
No comment. All right, moving on.
But no, King Richard looks like it's gonna be good. So we'll let you know what's up with it next week. But
people seem to like it. Early viewers. It's got like a 6.8 on IMDb already. Critics seem to like it. Venus and Serena were producers on it, so that's nice to know that they had like an input in it. And it seems to be more real and accurate and more of an insight into their actual lives instead of someone just putting out a story and then coming out later and saying that's not what happened.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So hopefully Will Smith,
nails it.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was really into the part. But I guess until next week, I have been James Roy, and this has been my lovely wife,
Danielle.
Danielle. And this has been the Noise Day Night. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think, and tell a friend.
About Jesus.
And this podcast, but first, Jesus. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Be blessed.
Be blessed.
We'll see you next time.
Later.